Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dallas Daily Show, coming at you again, finally, from the Neighborhood Loan Studio here in St. Louis, Missouri. I am back from the travels, and today's topic is, we fell behind in production. All right, let's hop into the conversation. All right, everybody. It is good to be back in studio. Producer Taylor, it's good to see you again. It's great to be here. So this last week, I was traveling to Nashville for an event, got back. However, we are actually behind. We ran out of runway. Whoops. We ran out of runway on our production schedule, so I did not get episodes up in time. So technically, this episode was due to air on April 17th, and we're getting to it a little behind date. All right, so sorry about that. But it really brought to mind something very intriguing to me, and I thought it'd be worth sharing for all of us today, which is this idea that sometimes we can fall behind in things, right? Sometimes the way I said it to Taylor earlier was I ran out of runway. We had several weeks in a row where usually we try and work 2 or 3 weeks out in front of us, but because of travel and because of my schedule and because of studio schedule, and it just didn't sync up and I didn't get a chance. I mean, earlier this week, we had a couple episodes literally, if you all remember that was hilarious. I said literally, I think, Taylor, like 22 times in one episode because I was driving, right? And I actually did those episodes from the road. And so now, though, we're back on the horse, we're back in place. And yes, this episode is technically posting late for you, but it's going to be there in the timeline for, I almost said for posterity, for those people who are listening or watching a little bit later on. But sometimes in our lives, we can run out of that little bit of runway. We can run out of margin. I don't know if you've ever felt that way, but like I said, I like to work ahead. I'm a very strategic person by nature. I'm an achiever type. I'm a futurist type. Like when I look at my 5 Strengths Finder, I don't know if you've ever done the Strengths Finder. Taylor, have you ever done Strengths Finder 2.0? Oh, you should totally look at that. Should go to your book club. So here at Neighborhood Loans, they have some investors and partners, and they send them out a book every month. You guys should totally do Strengths Finder 2.0 because it identifies 5 of your top strengths as a person, and it's a great little book. When you buy the hard copy, or I guess maybe the paperback, it comes with a free quiz. You can also just go to the Strengths Finder website and do your own quiz. You can pay for that separately. Regardless, by the way, this episode is not sponsored by Strengths Finder, but here's what some of mine are: achiever, futurist, strategist, competition, and intellection. Those are my top 5 strengths. And yes, they align perfectly with who I am. And when that group came back, and then the book kind of tells you a little bit about what each of those are. It's different than Enneagram. It's different than DISC. They complement each other. Myers-Briggs, they complement each other. But specifically for me, as an achiever type, I want to get things done. As competition, if I fall behind, it can frustrate me, right? As a futurist, I'm always looking around the curve. What is coming? How can we get ahead of it, etc. Intellection, obviously, I'm always thinking deeply about stuff like that. So if you've never done your Strengths Finder, it might be worth you checking out for sure. But also, if you have, it might be worth revisiting those and saying, boy, where am I actually leaning into my strengths and where am I maybe falling behind a little bit? Total aside here. That being said, we ran out of margin. We ran out of runway. It was a little bit frustrating for me, and yet also it got me feeling a little overwhelmed, because then it was this weird thing in my head of, boy, do I make up the episodes? Do I just skip a week? Do I pop in? What do we do? We're behind like 5 episodes. What are we going to do, Taylor? And I decided, no, we're just going to chip away at it, and we're going to get caught back up, and it's going to be totally fine. Everything's going to be fine. It's beautiful that we can actually take the time, and several of you were and have been very gracious to just reach out and be like, hey, is everything okay? You know, I've had messages come through the podcast page. I've had emails. A friend sent me a message on Facebook Messenger being like, hey, I'm not seeing your pod show up in my feed. Is everything okay? And I was like, wow, thank you for listening. I don't really promote this very much among friends, so it's nice when a friend lets me know they're listening. But I feel like In the state of overwhelm, it's easy to simply tap out. And it's easy to simply say, I'm overwhelmed, I got nothing left. And there's an old pattern of mine that would have done that. Well, that's it, it's over. Because I was no longer winning, I was no longer achieving, I was no longer ahead in the competition. I fell behind, so tap out, I'm done. Now that's my personality type mixed with my strengths finder, right? What about you? How do you respond to overwhelm? For me, the old pattern was break out, I'm done. The new pattern is, no, I can lean into this and we'll just chip away at it. And I've handed some stuff off to some of my team members, handed stuff off to my guy Tawan, who's in our development team, handed stuff off to Michelle as my exec assist and said, hey, I need you to cover this. We need to cancel all these things. We're just going to chip away at the things that are necessary to keep us moving forward. And instead of falling into the old trigger, old belief, old pattern, right? We talk about that all the time in the Mind Shift episodes and on here when we come to the future you. I'm able now to break free of that because I simply took the pause, I took a breath, and I acknowledged that it's okay. So what about you? Where in your life have you felt overwhelmed? Have you felt maybe underwater? Have you felt under pressure? Have you felt totally behind? Have you felt as though there's no way I can accomplish all this? What is your old pattern? And what could a possible new pattern be? How does future you out here respond when under pressure? That's the thought. That's the question I have for you. And the positive play call, we've been talking about this whole week. The positive play call this week is I am able to break free from old patterns, right? I am able to break free from old patterns. If you don't have your positive play call cards, you can download those at the website, dallasdailyshow.com. And you can get those and you just print them up and you write that down and you put it somewhere where you can see it. You put it on your dashboard. Mine, actually, I'll just show you this week because I didn't have positive play call cards with me while I was on the road in Nashville. So this is on the back of a receipt from a gas card or from a gas station. Pilot number 164 number 44 in Boonville, Missouri. There you go. And I just wrote on there the lines, I am able to break free from old patterns. And I kept that in the car with me all week where I could see it. But that's why we created the positive play call cards for you so you don't have to walk around with gas receipts. But that's it, my friends. I want to encourage you, no matter where you are right now, if you're behind, if you're ahead, if you're underwater, if you're under pressure, if you're overwhelmed, if you're just in it, you have the power to break free from old patterns. Starts with recognizing them and acknowledging them, right? And saying, here's the story I tell myself. Here's the usual activity that I do. What can I do differently this time? It's a powerful question. What can I do differently this time? But it only happens if we believe that we are able to break free from old patterns. All right, my friends, that's it. That's all I got for you. Have a championship day.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more tools, go to dallasdailyshow.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.